Hello, my name is Rebecca, and I am the Program Director for the Joslyn Center. And this is episode 184 of 148 of the Joslyn Variety Show. So give me just a moment. I'm going to make sure that this is streaming right so that you guys can all see me and hear me. I hope you are having a fantastic Friday. It is the very tail end of our week. Oh, I can see me. Perfect. Okay, so let me tell you about what we have going on for you today. I haven't done a tech tutor session in a while, so I thought that we could talk about Google and the best way to use Google, some little tips and tricks for getting the most out of your search tools, because Google can do so much for you, and I will admit to using it constantly for every little thing. So I hope today I can help you be more familiar with Google and with the different searches available to you. But first, let me give you a heads up for things that you can do this weekend while we are off. So we have, of course, our YouTube channel. That is youtube.com/Joslyn Center. All of our previous Joslyn Variety Show episodes are available there. We also have exercise videos. We've got calisthenics. We've got chair yoga. We have Take 20 with Veronica. There's also meditation. You can do meditation with Paul or with Benedict, who is one of our resident instructors. What else is on we have all kinds of things on our YouTube channel. We have videos that are produced by the Joslyn Center, like our Joslyn Emotion is available to watch on our YouTube channel. So if you're looking for a way to stay busy this weekend, definitely check out our YouTube. And my other recommendation would be our virtual learning series on Facebook. That happens at 2 p.m. every day, but you can access it anytime. So if you go to our Facebook page, that's facebook.com/Joslyn Center. And if you find a post that's got the hashtag virtual learning series, click on that hashtag. It should be lit up in blue for you and very easily searchable. It'll show you all our virtual learning series posts. That way you can go in and discover all the different learning opportunities available. So make sure that you stay engaged with us this weekend. We'll be back on Monday with lots of great programming, including, of course, virtual Joslyn Variety Show, as well as all of our typically scheduled events and a very special holiday concert for you. So let me go ahead. I'm going to switch over to my share screen so that y'all will be able to see what we are working with today. And then I'm going to show you some really basic, easy tips and tricks on Google. So the first thing to do is make sure that you're at google.com. You'll usually see a Google indicator here. This is a special Google Doodle with some Christmas lights. This is the share option if you wanted to share this Google Doodle. And then this is your search bar. The I'm feeling lucky is going to give you some really interesting and random results. We're not going to tackle that one today, but if you feel like playing around with Google a little bit, that's a good place to start. But the first thing we're going to do is show you the very, very basics of Google. So let's look for the Joslyn Center. So you'll notice that one thing it does is it brings up what Google thinks is what you're searching for, which would be correct. The Joslyn Center is a senior citizen center in Palm Desert. It's also going to bring up maybe an address option, but let's click on that first one. And here we are, the Joslyn Center. And it's going to tell you that we are temporarily closed because we are, unfortunately, but we can't wait to have folks back on property. It's going to give you our address. It's going to say that I was up there in July, but I wasn't. I've been there pretty frequently since. Here's the phone number. And then what another great thing to know about Google is up in the top here. You can search for the Joslyn Center or anything if you're looking for, I don't know, a beagle dog or a Mustang car. You can search maps, videos, news, shopping, and more. And let's see, I think I can turn on my annotate so you can see my pointer a little better. There we go. How's that? So if I clicked, let's say I wanted to see images of the Joslyn Center. If I click on more, I'm going to click images, and then it is just going to return results that have to do with our Joslyn Center. So you'll see the logo, our building, a group of our beautiful quilters doing their thing, You can also search for the Joslyn Center. If I selected maps instead, it's going to bring us up on a map once it decides that it's interested in doing that. So there, you can see us on the map. We're right between San Pasqual and San Pablo, off of Fred Waring, across from Palm Desert Civic Center. The tricky thing about going into map mode is it's a little harder to get back to the main Google mode, but all you do is hit that back button and it'll take you there. If you wanted to see news about the Joslyn Center, so for instance, news articles that have been posted recently, you can click that news option. It'll tell, KESQ will tell you we had a drive-by celebration for Uncle John, who turned 105 on Veterans Day. KESQ will also tell you they did an article about senior centers overcoming the pandemic. The Desert Sun had opportunities to support us for Thanksgiving. So that's a great narrowed down option. We're only going to get news. But let's go back to all, because I'm going to show you some super quick tips and tricks. Let's do, let me show you one of my very favorites that I use fairly frequently. It's the define tool. So if I type in define, let's do kismet. That's a fun word. Define kismet. It's going to define it right here on its dictionary so that you don't have to go to dictionary.com or any of the other websites. Google's just going to tell you right here on its homepage. So you've got destiny, fate. It's going to give you some synonyms, maybe some images that might be related, that kind of thing. So let's search for another word. Let's do, I don't know, what's a good one that I used lately? Let's just do something easy. Let's do silly. So here it's going to give you adjectives, nouns, and phrases all right here on the homepage, so you do not have to go searching for it. It's even going to give you the origin. I did not know that this was a West Germanic word that has been translated to Middle English. It's gotten very popular since the 1980s, somewhere in there. So Define is a really great tool if you are on Google. One of my other favorites is the math option. So instead of having to pull out your calculator, if you are already up on the homepage here, let's say we want to do 8 times 5 plus 9 minus 7. Just hit enter or search, and it's going to bring up the answer for you right here. It's even going to put it in the correct PEMDAS order, so the parentheses, exponents, multiplication, etc. So it says 8 times 5 plus 9 minus 7 is 42. And it'll leave this calendar up. So if you wanted, or calculator up. So if you wanted to do some additional math, you can. So we could clear this out and ask it what, 7 times 9 is. There we go. So you can do all of this right here on the Google homepage as well. Let's do another super easy favorite. Google will let you search for the weather if you tell it where you want to look. So let's say the weather in 92211, which is where I am currently. It is a gorgeous 65 degrees in Palm Desert. It's going to get very chilly towards Wednesday and Thursday this week, which is good to know. But then it'll be back up to a lovely 66 by Friday. So instead of having to go to weather.com or any of the other weather sources that you use, Google can tell you right here on their homepage. Another great one is time. So let's ask Google what the time in Paris is, and it's going to tell us right there. It is 8 p.m. right now in Paris, and it is currently 11 a.m. here in Palm Desert. So that is a super easy way to convert time. It'll do the exact same thing for money. So let's say we want to look at what 50 US dollars is in euros. So $50 is 41.17 euros, and you can change up your conversions here as well. So if maybe we didn't want to look in euros, we wanted to see what $50 would be worth in the Dominican Republic. Wow, a lot of money in the Dominican Republic. Those pesos, it's almost 3,000 pesos. You can also change it. Let's see what $50 is worth in, Poland. 183. Ooh, I cannot say that word. I'm so sorry. But this is a translation that you could do right here on the Google homepage. While we're talking about translations, let's figure out what 10 miles is in kilometers. And see, it's recommending that to me, that very first one. So let's click on that. So 10 miles is about 16 kilometers. And if you wanted to change this and see what 10 miles is in feet, it is a whole bunch of feet. So again, a great tool right here on the Google homepage where you can do quick calculations without having to open up additional windows or web pages. So let's talk about how to search in Google, because while it's great that it does all of these easy, quick things for you, you also need to know how to find the information that you're looking for. So one of the best things to do is to use quotation marks when you search. So maybe we want to search for, let's say, a very specific phrase that we want to search maybe for song lyrics. And maybe we've got a song stuck in our head and we cannot figure it out what it is. Let's say, so I was listening to some Beatles this morning. So let's say, come together right now over me, because we know that that's the lyric, but we can't think of the song. It's going to bring up only results that have that exact same phrase. So come together right now. See how it's making it bold right here? Come together right now for me. Come together. It's not going to give us any results that don't have all of those words right in a row. So it's I'm telling Google, this is very specifically, very literally the phrase I want you to look for. Whereas if I did this phrase without the quotation marks, I'd probably get a lot of the same results, but I would also get some results that didn't have all those right in a row. So for instance, see how under Wikipedia, it's not giving me that exact phrase. It's some of it, so come together right here. The rights is bolded, many years from now. So it's taking some of the words that were in that phrase, but maybe they're not all consecutively lined up together, whereas this result actually did come back with that full phrase altogether. So use those quotation marks if you're looking for a very specific phrase or trying to think of maybe a speech someone gave that you know this is the exact line from it. It'll help you kind of narrow down a lot of that. So similarly, but not similarly, if you wanted to search for something but Google's confused. So like we talked about Mustang cars earlier, if I search right now for a Mustang, it is going to give me a bunch of car information because consumerism, I don't know. But I do not want to look up Mustangs. I want to look up the horse Mustang. So I'm going to put the hyphen sign here, which in Google means negative or means subtract. And I'm going to type in car because I do not want any results having to do with cars. I only want the Mustang horse. So now if I hit search, I'm in images. Nope, that is images. It's going to give me a movie. It's going to give me some, mostly movies. Yeah. So let's do this. Let's do minus car plus, there we go, horse. And we're slowly getting to what we want. There we go. So breeds of livestock, horses. Now Google is telling us what we want to know. But it took a little bit of maneuvering for us to get there, which is great because then you know how to use that minus sign and that plus sign in your search options. Now we don't have any car stuff. We don't have any movie stuff. We just have horse stuff. Let's also talk about if you wanted to search. So going back to that lyric, the come together right now over me. Let's say we couldn't remember that whole phrase. We know it starts with come together, something, something, something. So if I instead use those same quotation marks and search come together, if I put an asterisk right here, because I know that there's a word there, but I can't remember what it is, and then type over me, close my quotations, Google's going to figure out what I mean. It's going to know, oh, she can't remember this word right here, but we know what it is because it shows up consistently within this phrase. So these are the results that we're going to give her. It's come together right now over me. Similarly, let's do, what's another good one? I'm not good at thinking on the spot. Let's say we want to look at, oh, I don't know, what's a good song? I was listening to, what was I listening to this morning? Let's ask Beatles. Or sorry, let's go to, All Together Now. Let's do that one. It's a little bit short, but we can try it. So let's type All Together, and then I know that there's a word at the end here, but I don't know what it is. Google kind of knows All Together Now. It's giving me that reference because it knows that I realize that there is a word missing there. So use that asterisk as a wild card. So if you think you know the word, but you're not positive what it is, put that wild card in there, and Google's going to try and fill in the blank to the best of its abilities. How about related? So if we wanted to find a site, so like we saw, maybe you shop on Amazon a lot, but you don't necessarily want to use Amazon for the thing that you're purchasing. If I type in related to Amazon.com, then Google is going to bring up some websites related to Amazon.com. It's going to bring up some websites that are similar to Amazon, but aren't Amazon. And that way I can find different alternatives to searching for that, or searching for shopping with them. So you can try the related. You can also, if you're searching for specific information from a specific website. So for instance, we are big hockey fans and we want to look up Sidney Crosby, but we only want to see information from the National Hockey League website. If I hit enter, then we are going to get National Hockey League results. So you'll notice all of these are from NHL.com, whereas if I had searched Sidney Crosby without NHL, we would get some NHL, but also we'd get Wikipedia, we'd get videos about it, we'd get ESPN articles, all kinds of different things, and that may not be what we want. So a great way to avoid that is to tell it what site you want to look for. So maybe NHL.com, maybe we want to look for only things from ESPN, then it's going to filter so that we only see ESPN stuff. So this is a great result if you're looking for a very a specific source. Maybe you only want your information to come from one place. You can tell Google that, and it will give it to you from that one place. What else? Oh, you know what we didn't do was translate. Translate is a super great option. So let's say I want to translate hello to Spanish. It's already telling me right there. It's giving me a little preview of it. But if I hit enter, it's going to say hello, hola. Maybe I want to change this and I want to say hello in Russian. Ooh, not going to even try to say that. You can change, let's say, try something I might be able to actually say. Let's try, Dutch might not. Hello, okay. So this is a translate tool that's available to you without you having to go in and dig for a translator website. It's already here in front of you. You can change the source language. So maybe somebody is speaking to you or sending you information that's in Italian, but you want to translate that to English, then you can do that. So let's say, oh yeah, I don't know any Italian to actually type that in here, but it'll go both ways. So hello, ciao, and you can type, you can have full sentences in here. So let's say, let's take a paragraph. Let's go find one. Here's a Spanish dictionary. I'm going to copy a paragraph. Ooh, there are no paragraphs here. Let's do this differently. Let's go up here and we will just come up with our own paragraphs instead of copying and pasting one. Oh no, I've broken our website. So what I'll do now is I'll just start from scratch because Google doesn't know where I want to go. So I'm going to tell it where I want to go. There it is. So I'm going to pull up the translate tool. Oh, we're still in Italian. Let's switch this over. So I'm going to type in, hello, my name is Rebecca, and that might be two. I am 31 years old. So then it's going to tell me how to say that in Italian. So it doesn't have to be just one word. You can do a whole phrase, you can do a whole paragraph, you can do a whole book in here if you wanted to, and it would give you the translation for it. It may not be perfect. So for instance, if I copy this and put it here and then switch these two, so call this one Italian to English. Oh no, it did really well. Sometimes this translation can get messed up if you try and switch it back to English again, but in this case, it did a good job. So Google Translate is a really great tool to use as well. So I know I've talked about Google Maps before in a different video, and I recommend if you haven't already checked that out to go and see it, because there is a ton of great information embedded in Google Maps that we do not have time to go over today. But let me think if there's anything else that I should tell you that I have not yet. If Google knows where you are, so if your location setting is turned on, you can do something like pizza near me and not have to actually tell Google where you are because it knows where you are. It's going to recommend a couple of locations nearest to you. It'll show you where they are on a map in case you were wondering about that, but it'll also give you their information here. So if I clicked on this first one, then it will tell me in a minute, because it's a little slow today. It'll tell you if they're open or not. It'll give you their phone number, how to order, and it will even down here let you know if, woo, too far, let you know how busy they are. So if they peak right around 6 p.m., and that's good to know, so I will avoid them at 6 p.m. So these are some of the great Google tools, and I am not kidding when I say you can Google absolutely everything. If you are unsure about something that's popped up on your computer, or if you want to know how to do something, just Google it. So like, for instance, this morning I was working with one of our members on how to delete emails. So you can do how to, let's say, bulk delete emails in, I think she's using AOL. So here is how to delete multiple messages in AOL. So you can Google literally anything and it will generally give you some advice. Not all of it's going to be perfect advice because this is the internet, but at least it'll get you started so that you can kind of get more comfortable feeling your way around things. Let me go ahead and stop the share so that I am back. I hope that gives you a good little intro to Google. It has so many tools available, and I highly recommend if there's something you don't know how to do or something you're not sure about or would like a little guidance on, just start with Google. It won't do any harm generally. Google what you want to do or what you're interested in or what you're curious about. Look for websites that look credible. Generally, don't click on websites that say ad. If they say ad, you can just skip them, go down to the next result, and hopefully you'll be able to find what you need that way. So I hope that helps. Maybe it'll give you something to do this weekend. We will see you on Monday with more Variety Show. Be safe out there, be healthy, and have a fantastic day.